hats off to Nico Denz. I think Red Bull Bora, they were really in need for a win, a stage win after Primoz quit. And, you know, that's obviously a boost for the morale. They have two more stages. They have Pellizzari now also that probably will move up and have some good results. So maybe they can still make the best of it under the circumstances, Red Bull.
Everybody, welcome back to the Move Plus. I'm Spencer Martin. I'm here with Johan Bruyneel. We are breaking down stage 18 of the Giro d'Italia, which just wrapped up, won by Nico Denz, and then we will predict tomorrow's major GC set piece, stage 19. But first, let's go through a little bit of the stage, just to give a little background. Also, full disclosure, Johan was on an 8-hour bike ride across the region of Spain that he lives in. And so I'll be filling him in as well on this, as well as asking him some questions about the stage.
Before you start, so I just want to full transparency. I haven't seen the stage. I just got to the hotel. We were, I would say 7.5 hours on the bike, probably 9 hours in total from start to finish with stops. Long, super long mountain bike ride from Madrid to Segovia with two friends. So unfortunately, I haven't seen anything of the stage. So I'll let you take the lead on that, and I'll just give my idea on what I hear from you. I know Nico Denz won. I know it was a breakaway stage. I know nothing happened in GC, and I know that Juan Ayuso dropped out. So that those are the main.
Yeah, that sounds. I watched the start to finish. You might know as much as I did. I also used to work at a major cycling magazine, and you watched about as much as people that work at cycling magazines watch about cycling. So we're at a good place. So the race starts. Beautiful day, we should say. I would say that's like the main takeaway of the day. Just like everyone should go to Lake Como right now. It was incredible weather. It looked fantastic. Started really fast. Not a long stage, 144 kilometers. Immediately, predictions of a sprint stage look dubious because Alpecin is trying to get in the break. So I'm thinking, I don't think they're going to want to pull this back. Mads Pedersen is active. Wout van Aert is active. You know, Fiesma's up there, Little Trek's up there, Alpecin's up there. They're not going to pull that back for a sprint. Eventually, a big group, almost 40 riders, gets clear. And what kind of odd, in the first climb, UAE keeps the pace really high. So the gap is about a minute. I'm thinking, is someone going to try to jump across here? This is a little risky. Maybe they were doing it so no one would attack. And then after that first climb, the pace just totally comes off in the GC group. We know it's going to be breakaway. They get to the last climb, which is about 50 kilometers-ish to go. VF Bardiani, I don't even think they're VF Bardiani, but we'll just say the VF team is very active. They get two riders up the road with one other. They go down the descent. They're kind of descending down into the plains around Milan with 40K to go. It all comes back together, but a group that big, you know, it's not going to go to the line. It starts to split up again, about 30K to go. There's a big break off the front. It has Wiesma, it has Alpecin, it has Little Trek. So, you know, well, that's not coming back. They're averaging like 65K an hour, absolutely flying. Quickly get a 40-second gap. Then 18K to go. Everyone, if you are a young bike racer and you want to win races, go watch this stage, the last 20K of this stage, because Nico Denz doesn't really have a sprint. He's in a group with a bunch of riders, some of them probably faster than him. They're going through some chicanes. It's hard going into it. Nico Denz just gets to the front in the chicanes, drills it, gets a little gap, not very big, and just stays on the gas. Eventually, I think there's an XCS Astana rider on the front. He pulls up. You know, it's the classic. The rider chasing pulls up. There's a little bit of hesitation. Denz gets a few seconds. And as we know, if you're in Italy, if you're at the Giro d'Italia and you're at the front, you might have a little moto help. And Nico was gone. I mean, he was just like gone immediately. You know, he wasn't getting pulled back. And especially with a fairly large group behind, like no one's going to work for anybody else. There's not a lot of teammates in there. Nico Denz wins. I would say the big takeaway, though, behind him, Mirko Mastriati gets second for Pulte Visit Malta. That's 130 UCI points. It almost looked to me like he maybe thought he was sprinting for the win and then realized he wasn't, or he was just upset because he knew he could have won if it came down to a sprint. Eddie Plankard on Alpecin is third, but Pulte should be happy. That's a lot of UCI points for them. That's a good day out for them. And then in the GC group, they roll into 13 minutes later. One kind of oddity, Johan, is there was concern at a certain point that the GC group would be caught by the breakaway in the final circuit, which is like what happens in levels of races I used to do. I've never seen it happen at a World Tour race. And I think the organizer had Q36.5 right on the front because they came to the front and picked up the pace And I can't imagine any reason why they would do that other than being asked nicely by RCS to do that. So that was kind of a funny little wrinkle. Denz gets the third Giro win of his career, and no GC changes except Juan Ayuso leaving the race because of the bee sting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I definitely expected it to be a bunch sprint, but as you say, if Alpecin and Little Trek and Visma are in the break, then there's nobody else to pull. So I guess they for the GC to prepare perfectly for the last two hard stages. So I think they got a relatively recovery day, I would say, because they finished 14 minutes back, right?
It was like 13:51, that GC group.
So yeah, I don't think it's going to change a lot in the strategy. The fact that Ayuso is out, they're now down to 6 riders because Jay Vinals already quit also. So they lose 2 riders in days, but for the 2 stages that are left, I think that's enough. Other than that, Spencer, not much to say. Breakaways like this, 35 plus riders, it's always difficult to win from this. So hats off to Nico Denz. I think Red Bull Bora, they were really in need for a win, a stage win after Primoz quit. And that's obviously a boost for the morale. They have two more stages. They have Pellizzari now also that probably will move up and have some good results. So maybe they can still make the best of it under the circumstances, Red Bull.
Yeah, something I forgot to mention is Caden Groves was in the break. So there's Wout van Aert, Mads Pedersen, Caden Groves. The reason probably Pedersen and Van Aert didn't make that final move and had their teammates go, Dylan Van Baarle went for Visma, Dan Uhl went for Little Trek, is because they knew they probably would have been beaten by Groves. So they were happy to have that group split off the front with their representation in it. Groves also had a rider in that group. And it's like nuclear, what do they call it? Like mutually assured destruction. Like the sprinters knew, like, well, Groves will probably beat us, so let's not let this happen. And then that's kind of why that group went away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Johan, was this pre-planned with the GC teams? Like it was a weird stage. It was almost like it was a sprint day, but it was the breakaway was the peloton, and the peloton was taking a day off almost. Like, would that have been talked about?
Obviously, the sprinter teams had this plan. They knew it was going to be difficult to control. Let's not forget, it's stage 18. People are tired. It's not easy to control a breakaway. So rather than having to chase a break of 10, 12 guys, it's probably better to be in it, right?
Yeah.
And then this was the case, but it's not easy to win from a break like this because there's so many different interests, and you really have to choose your moment and then hope that there's not any agreement behind you, which is apparently what Nico Denz did.
And Juan Ayuso leaves the race. I mean, stinks for just like crummy Giro for him from a luck perspective. Yeah. He hasn't really done anything wrong. I mean, it's crazy to think back. What was that, stage 7? Remember that uphill finish? It's like, wow, he's the strongest guy in the race. It's just, that's a lesson for all of us, that the first uphill finish of the race maybe isn't a great predictor of what's going to happen, because things happen along the way. Like we don't want to get too deep into this, but what does he do the rest?
Ayuso, he crashed a lot harder than we initially knew in the gravel stage. Obviously had problems with the stitches in his knee, and then the bee sting. There's not much you can do. He would have preferred to stay in the race and finish the race. I mean, nobody who starts a 3-week stage, if your ambitions are high and then you can't fulfill them, you still want to get to the end of the 3 weeks on day 18.
Does he go to the Tour, or what's his future look like for the rest of the year?
No, he's not going to do any other Grand Tour. He doesn't do the Tour, and he won't do the Vuelta either. So I guess he'll focus on 1 week stage races, whatever's left, and probably the World Championships.
I guess he won't be at the Dauphiné, right? Because they'll have their tour team there, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know if it's internal agreement, but I haven't seen him race with Pogacar anymore since last year's Tour de France.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to do another Grand Tour. It's fine. I mean, he's 22 years old. He has a lot of time, and let's not be too hard on him. We've sometimes been critical, saying that he was an individual rider, and at the end of the day, he's a great talent. He's won already this year a lot of nice races, and it doesn't always go the way you want.
No, the crazy thing is, this is not a prediction. He could win the world championships. It's a good course for someone like him. So it is like there's stuff left. There's meat left on the bone for him this year. Anything else on what do you think? Do you think what RCS probably would ask Q36.5 to pull? But what happens if they lap them? I kept wanting to see it once it was mentioned. It would have been a disaster.
I mean, they would probably. I mean, they would ask the main peloton to go on the side and let the break pass, and
that'd be amazing. Like riding through, you'd have the breakaway riding through the caravan in the back to get to the front. People attacking through the peloton. Oh man, I was excited to see it. Didn't happen, unfortunately, but people. Clearly, you're looking for an easy day because tomorrow is not going to be easy. Are you ready to predict it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take a quick ad break first, and then we'll get into it. All right. So, stage 19, tomorrow's stage, 166 kilometers. Not a super long stage. 5,000 meters of climbing. Which, what is that? That's 19,000 feet of climbing in 100 miles, basically. Ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categorized climbs. 3 of those are Cat 1s, which is like the top categorized climb at the Giro. They don't do HC climbs here. The first hard climb is 16K long at 7.5%. The second hard climb, 16.5K at 7.2%. The third one, not even the last climb, 15K long at 7%. Then you have a little descent, a little kick back up at a 9K long, 5% climb. Not crazy hard, but that's after 4 other climbs, and then a descent down to the finish. Feels a little like Carapaz territory, but I'll list off the favorites, and we'll get your take on who's going to win. Richard Carapaz, the market agrees with me, plus 175. Giulio Pellizzari, plus 500. Isaac Del Toro, plus 1,200. Derek G, plus 1,600. Lorenzo Fortunato, plus 1,600. Romain Bardet, plus 1,800. Wout Poels, plus 1,800. Simon Yates, plus 2,500. That looks like a steal, actually. Damiano Caruso, plus 3,300. Nairo Quintana, plus 3,300. Johan, who do you think is going to win? And I guess, is this a GC or breakaway day?
I think it's going to be GC day, Spencer. The favorites will give it their all in these last 2 stages. You have to think that Carapaz may think, okay, maybe I can win, but I need the bonus seconds also. So I'm going to go for Isaac Del Toro again to win the stage. He's plus. The climbs are hard, but not extremely hard. And I think after what I've seen yesterday, today, a relatively easy day for him, also able to recover. I think he can win tomorrow. He's faster than Carapaz, and Carapaz needs to drop him to win. So I'm going to go for him. He's plus 1,200 on top of that. So that's a really good price for Isaac Del Toro.
Yeah, this is a smart pick, because even if all things being equal, maybe he won't win at plus 1,200, because if they come to the line like we saw yesterday, he's going to rip him to shreds. Like he just rode Bardet and Carapaz off his wheel on that descent to the finish. He was just too powerful for them. They couldn't stay there. So it's hard to imagine him not winning on this. As you say, it's possible he doesn't get dropped. I mean, who would have thought that he would have made it to the line after losing time on stage 17, on stage 16, on stage 17. So I don't hate the pick. It's a good price, but I'm going to go chalk here. I'm going Richard Carapaz. They're not the hardest climbs. They're pretty hard. It's quite a bit of sustained climbing if I was better prepared, I'd tell you how these climbs compare to the climbs that we've seen so far at this race. But I don't believe we've had a stage where we've had 3 consecutive climbs all longer than 15 kilometers in length.
Yeah.
So that's quite different than what we've seen up to this point.
And especially Col de Joux, at 15.3 at 7% average, but there's a few stretches of 8 and 9%. And that's definitely climb where Carapaz can do the damage for sure.
And if Carapaz has, I mean, Del Toro doesn't even have to blow up, right? If he just has 20 seconds at the top of that last climb, he could potentially hold them off. And he's a wild man. Like, he's someone that he's going to come out swinging tomorrow, even if, like, logic would tell us maybe actually just save everything for stage 20 because you can make the difference you need on the Fenestra. Yeah, Carapaz. Like, he's going to come out just absolutely swinging tomorrow.
Oh, no, I think he's going to try every time there's a chance he's going to hit it on every climb. I am probably not on the first Cat 1 climb, but listen, the Col Saint-Panthéon, first Cat, 16.5 kilometers, 7.5% average. It's not easy either. And it's a short stage, so the speeds are going to be high. It can happen anywhere, but I expect Carapaz to attack on Col de Joux, and I think that Del Toro can follow him.
It's kind of these interesting time bonuses too at the bottom of Col de Joux, because I was thinking it won't happen like this, but let's say tomorrow is conservative. Everyone's waiting for stage 20. He could have a bad moment. He could not even lose time to Simon Yates. Simon Yates out sprints him on stage 20, and then they're tight on time going into Rome, which is not a good place to be. You don't want that. You don't want to be doing countbacks in a Grand Tour. So I think he'll be going for all the time he can get tomorrow.
It's not going to come down to that, Spencer. There's going to be separate tomorrow, and especially on Saturday.
Can you imagine sprinting in Rome for positions to win the Giro d'Italia?
Something, yeah.
So who's your wild card if it's not Del Toro?
My wild card is going to be Giulio Pellizzari. I think he's showing some incredible form. Probably for the moment, one of the 2-3 best climbers in the Giro. And, he's going to be there with these guys, I think, and he could still have some freedom at the end.
Yeah.
Because he's not a direct threat. So he could potentially take advantage of his position right now and sneak away in the final of the group of the favorites.
Yeah, I like this pick a lot. Plus 500. You're right. If he attacks, there's not maybe an immediate response. 5 minutes back. Other people have other things to worry about. I'm going to go. I mean, this is actually tough. I'm changing this on the fly. Simon Yates plus 2,500. I couldn't believe he was this far down. I mean, I know he didn't look the best yesterday. We're talking about a great climber on a really hard stage at 2,500. It's just the other option would be Romain Bardet if you think breakaway. But the more I look at this profile and the race situation, like, is a breakaway realistically getting a chance here? I don't think so. So Simon Yates at plus 2,500 is kind of an interesting pick.
Yeah.
And are you going home tonight, Johan? Or are you? Yeah, that's crazy.
We're in Segovia. So we started in Madrid, went all the way through the mountains. You have to go over a big pass, 12-kilometer climb, off-road. And so we finish on there's this very famous place here it's called the Aqueduct of Segovia. It's historic. So we finished there, quickly came here to take a shower, do the podcast, and now we have our prize of today is a very special dinner. There's really a special food here in Segovia. So the three of us, we're gonna have a very nice meal now, and then we drive home.
Nice. I'm sure that aqueduct, that's like Barton Springs in Austin. It's probably that historic. We're talking 200 years old, maybe. But
I look at aqueduct in Segovia. It's impressive. Yeah.
And I was thinking, because you hadn't seen the stage, there's this, and we're not getting paid by Max. Max has won me over during this Giro. There's like key. If you go to the bottom, it's called like key key moments, and you can actually like click on it will like tell you where the parts of the race are where things happened. So if you wake up tomorrow, you haven't seen this whole stage, it might be like, you know, wall-to-wall action. You can like scrub to where you need to be. They'll filter it for you. Super helpful if you're watching on Max. But
I also have, Spencer, for this Giro, it's the first time I see it. I'm going to guess they do it for the Tour also. It's like a multi-screen feed. You have 4 screens, so 4 cameras in the same screen. So you can have that in the background, and then so you always know what's going on.
It'd be great for the Tour, because then when like Guillaume Martin's getting dropped and like that's all the main footage is, you can actually see what's going on in the race at the front. So that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Before we go, Spencer, I just want to mention, when I got here like an hour ago, I saw my phone, and I want to extend my condolences to the friends and family of Ludo Dirksen. You know, he's my generation. From my generation, was a great cyclist. 60 years old, ex-Belgian champion. He won a stage in the Tour also. Today on a charity ride, he crashed and passed away, unfortunately. So I can't believe it. So to all the people, family, friends of Ludo, my sincere condolences. I cannot imagine how hard this must be. And I'm thinking about you guys.
It's terrible to hear. Shocking. It's I guess any ride is technically dangerous.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we enjoy every day, because we never know what tomorrow brings.
It is very true. Well, on that note, enjoy your special dinner, and we'll be back tomorrow to hopefully break down an exciting stage.
Okay, Spencer. Thanks.
All right. Bye, Johan.